a freshman. Next year I'm going to be a sophomore, and then I'll be a junior looking at colleges, and then I'll be a senior and have to move away, and I'm just not ready for that. You know those feelings when your life just flashes before your eyes and it's so overwhelming? That was me the beginning of freshman year. But it all ended up being all right, because after freshman year, I took up volleyball, and I decided to be a college student athlete, and since that moment, I could not wait to go to college. By joining the volleyball team, I was kind of invading my sister's turf, but it was the best decision of my life, so Michelle, thank you. Bishop Kearney decided to host a gala for our school the fall of my junior year, which for the past 2 years is how I completed a large part of my community service hours. For the first year, I served hors d'oeuvres to guests, and this past fall, I was planning on being part of the valet, which I was so excited for. But I ended up spraining my ankle the day before the event and was controlling the walkie-talkie from the weight room, watching all of my friends drive the fancy cars. Anyways, moving on. Bishop Kearney gave us so many opportunities to complete our mandatory service hours. Bishop Kearney expected great things from us, but they made it so easy to live up to those great expectations. The National Honor Society is all about giving back to the community. Through blood drives, visits to St. Anne's Home, and the Bald for Bucks fundraiser, I was able to watch my peers give back to the community in a very fun and memorable way. The act of giving back leaves you with a feeling of fulfillment that sticks with you throughout life. By being so involved with the National Honor Society, I have learned that not every payment is monetary. I often find that knowing I made someone's day a little bit better means more than getting a paycheck at the end of the day. The lessons I have learned throughout my time at Bishop Kearney are the lessons that will guide me toward a bright future. I am forever thankful for the fun memories, high-level education, and lifelong friendships the Bishop Kearney community has provided me with. Service has always been an essential part of being a Bishop Kearney student. The National Honor Society is just one of those sources that students have to do all things well. Congratulations to all of my classmates for this great accomplishment. Good luck to whatever journey you embark on next, and embrace the community service work ethic that Bishop Kearney has instilled in you. Thank you.
And now I have an opportunity to introduce two very special students, Ziwan Tong and Molly Evans. Each of these students have been a part of our unique programs at Bishop Kearney. Ziwan is a member of our International Student Education Program. Many schools have foreign exchange students who live overseas for short periods of time. Ziwan has lived in Rochester for 4 years and will return to the U.S. next year for her freshman year at Pepperdine University. Molly Evans, also very special, is a member of our inaugural group of first graduating class from the Selects Academy at Bishop Kearney. Molly grew up in Barre, Vermont, but has spent the last 2 years living at Bishop Kearney Residence Hall. Next year, she will continue playing the sport that she loves, ice hockey, at SUNY Oswego. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Ziwan Tong and Ms. Molly Evans.
Principal Simone, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, and fellow graduates of the Bishop Kearney class of 2018. Good morning. It is my distinct honor to be speaking to you this morning as the International Student Representative. Before I start my speech, please first allow me to give all glory to God for the reckless love of our Heavenly Father, in its evident or hidden ways, has acted in our lives to carry us through tribulations to this defining point of our lives, this dazzling moment of celebration. I would also like to thank teachers, family, my host mom Denise Friedman, and all of my wonderful classmates who have made the past 4 years as memorable as they could be. So, something you should know about me is that I'm from Beijing, China, and I left my home to attend Bishop Kearney at the age of 15. Now, I think you have probably already figured that English is not my first language, unless you are really bad at noticing accents like one of my friends, whom I will not name, but he is the salutatorian of the class. He thought I was a Texas-born Korean American after sitting next to me in a class for 6 months talking to me. So, yeah. Now, one useful thing you can do with Chinese international students, in addition to asking them if sesame chicken is an authentic dish, it isn't, by the way, is ask, what has the experience of studying abroad taught you? And they'll tell you. So, what have I learned? That people really don't mean to offend me when they ask me why my face is so flat? Sure, not important. That Google Translator is the single most unreliable thing in the world? Yeah, but that's not a big deal. But here's something crucial that I learned. No matter where in the world, our generation is a generation of hard questions. To quote Charles Dickens, a wonderful fact to reflect upon, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to one another. Even to my closest friends in the US, I have seldom mentioned how much of a failure I was considered before my years at Kearney. For the competitive, grade-worshipping Chinese culture decided to define me as such. Now, I do not intend to go into details about the immense suffering I endured because of it, and the anguished sense of dissatisfaction that was burning within. Now, please know that I truly have a profound and pristine love for my country, and that I can never speak for every student in China. But its educational system did fail me, as I had felt it. Bearing burdens of mockery, bullying, and brutality in many senses, whenever I couldn't close my eyes to a night that is heavy upon my head, I asked myself those hard questions. Those overwhelming questions about self-esteem, unfair suffering, inferiority, and failures of kindness that every one of us has asked and none of us answered. When those long nights turned into day was when I started to pack my bags, shake the dust, and fly across the world to find a refuge for my soul. Kearney became that refuge. The patience, acceptance, and openness of this enlightened school called the rage in me to still. It helped me to redefine myself and the concept of intelligence. But beyond that, it made me rise above the narrow confines of my individualistic concerns to broader thinkings. I remember learning about special relativity in Mr. Burke's physics class. I was sitting there in tears, extraordinarily amazed that I was absorbing an infinite truth and at the same time absorbed by it. I remember being told in Mrs. Hoffman's writing class that my words are not only capable of beauty, but also integrity, power, and the luminous purity that can give a language to the cry of the people's hearts. I remember hugging my sobbing friends backstage before our last show, knowing that we didn't climb the mountains in vain, that the bond we shared goes beyond time and personal concerns. These moments, of course, resurrected me from my past, made me ambitious, made me energetic, and gave me a sense of accomplishment. But more importantly, those are the moments that inclined me toward the large questions, the hard questions that never went away. I have learned that accomplishments and ambitions are unreliable. The constant need to renew success is what reduces us and makes us trivial. It is the hard questions that are still echoing, or veiled in silence, left unanswered, and keeping us awake. The questions that don't fall from the top down, but rise from the bottom up. The overwhelming questions about injustice, hurt, depression, poverty, unfreedom, undividedness that our generation is made to face. They push humanity forward. They nurture hope from the very core. To quote Martin Luther King Jr., "We may have all come on different ships, but we are in the same boat now." You don't have to be from China to face those questions. You don't have to study abroad to face those questions. For every one of us are born to be disturbed and to disturb the universe. Like George Saunders said, the luminous part of you that exists beyond personality, your soul, if you will, is as bright and shining as any that has ever been. Yes, it is. It is bright as Shakespeare's, bright as Gandhi's, bright as Mother Teresa's. So clear away everything that keeps you separate from that secret luminous place. Believe that it exists. come to know it better, nurture it, share its fruits tirelessly. Now, before I give the podium to Molly, here is my end of speech declaration. My dear fellow graduates, just like all of you, I too am a living example of hard questions. From violence, failures, childhood impurity and labels, to studying heaven and earth away from home, battling my way through all the emotions that it takes. I have had some dark hours behind me, but oh, my heart is overflowing with a good theme today. It is the ever-shining, full, dazzling years we shared at Kearney that made it clear. Not only are we a generation that dares to ask the hard questions, we are going to be a generation that boldly answers them. Not only are we a generation that embodies thinking, we are going to be a generation of generational revelations. We have heard stories of revivals before. We will be the generation that sees them again. We will once again see through the superficial glory and glitter of this world and see the coming of judgment, never sacrificing God's truth at the altar of human reasoning, never settling for what the world has to offer. In about 80 years, when we are about 100 and our teachers are about 400, after we have run into the world's open arms, raged against its bewildering frustration, corroding bitterness, and finally see the indwelling light shining ever bright from within, we will look at each other, smile, and repeat what we have said this very day. Congratulations, we made it. Thank you. Now, please allow me to present to you Molly Evans.
Hello, my name is Molly Evans, and I'm a part of Selects Academy at Bishop Kearney. I have been here since the start of this program, and now my time here is almost over. It's crazy to think that we're already here, gowns and all, crazy stuff. When they said that high school would fly by, they weren't kidding. They also said that it's some of the best years of your life, and I can say with certainty that my last 2 years of high school have been the best years of my life. But if we flash back to my freshman and sophomore years, I would have the opposite response to that statement. Everything about my old school just didn't fit with the type of person I wanted to be. It wasn't a place where I felt like I could grow and thrive without suffering in silence along the way. I'd wake up in the morning dreading it. Many times I felt hopeless and that high school was simply too hard for me, and that if I was struggling so much already, how in the world would I ever graduate? The true problem was that I was really unhappy, so how could I succeed when I wasn't in my right mind? I didn't have any answers as to why I was failing my classes or why I wasn't enjoying the sport that I loved the most. I didn't feel like myself, and I remember thinking that this is not how high school is supposed to be. During my sophomore year, the joint decision between my family and I was that I had to leave, and this is where BK comes in. Selects Academy at Bishop Kearney has completely changed my life. Even though Rochester is 6.5 hours from good old Barre, Vermont, I feel more at home here than I ever did going to school that was only an hour away. I know that I can speak for every young woman that's a part of this hockey program when I say that the Bishop Kearney community has opened their arms to us since the first ever move-in day on September 1st of 2016. Since then, the amount of love and support we have all received is indescribable. Through the killer workouts and practices, tough schoolwork in the classroom, along with living away from home at a young age, Selects Academy at Bishop Kearney has truly prepared us for the real world. Getting up at the crack of dawn for workouts, having school, then practice, and finally coming back to the dorm to do homework late and go to sleep for the same thing the next day has really taught us how to manage our time. Also, the amount of lifelong friends I've made through the teams at the school bewilder me. Because if this program didn't exist, I would have never met the people who I love more than words. They truly play a crucial role in why I love it here so much. The student body, our coaches, and the staff here have made our experience that much better because of the amount of support they have given us. And on behalf of all the graduating seniors of Selects Academy, I say thank you. It truly has been a privilege to share the halls and grow with all you Rochesterians these past 2 years. Again, when I say that my junior and senior years are the best of my life so far, I really mean that. Selects Academy and Bishop Kearney have spun my life around the right direction, and I'll forever be grateful to my family for everything they have done to get me here. With that said, I am beyond excited for what the next chapter holds, not only for me, but for everyone that's on the stage along with me. It's been a pleasure to have gone to such a great school and play for such an elite hockey program. I'll always have the memories from here in the back of my mind so I can remember some of the best times of my life. Everyone, thank you for listening to me babble for the past few minutes. And to my classmates behind me, congratulations. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tom O'Neill, the former president of Bishop Kearney, and it is my honor today to introduce the current president of Bishop Kearney. He joined us a couple of years ago after a 14-year stint at St. John Fisher, and we couldn't be happier to have him as part of the Kearney family. He arrived here on the ground, feet running, and he hasn't stopped running since. He's done a wonderful job for the school and will continue to do so. Despite the fact that he's a McQuaid alum, he's been totally ingrained in the Bishop Kearney culture and way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Bishop Kearney, Steve Saluzzo.
Good morning. I have a whole speech here, but before I get into this, I'm not really sure. I was just saying to our board chair, Rich Spencer, I'm not sure how to follow the speeches of our soon-to-be graduates. You guys are incredible, just incredible. I do need to recognize a few people. First, I'd like to thank our Board of Trustees. Each and every one of them continue to have a positive leadership for the school, and they guide us to ensure that our school and our students continue to stay true to the Bishop Kearney mission while changing with the times and moving forward as an organization. I'd also like to thank Mr. Tom Golisano. His support and commitment to Bishop Kearney over the years has provided so many, including our soon-to-be graduates here today, with the opportunity of a Bishop Kearney education. I'd also like to recognize our wonderful faculty members who are sitting down here in the front row. The dedication, thank you. The dedication each of our faculty members has with our students every day is very inspiring to each and every one of us. Each of you continue to push the students to be the best that they can be every day, and that is something that is truly motivating and has my utmost appreciation. Thank you. To the students in the graduating class of 2018, 2 words: be bold. You've been given an opportunity to excel in life. Your Bishop Kearney education has provided you with a baseline to have a vision for your future. Use your curiosity and your imagination to forge your own path and connect the bridge between classroom theory and your own ideas to help make our world a better place. You guys talked a little bit just a few minutes ago about paying it forward. I'm going to talk just a second about that too. Imagine that, nice theme. Never forget what you guys learned here at Bishop Kearney. And most importantly, say the words thank you to people. Those 2 words mean a lot these days and are not said nearly enough. First people I'd like each of you to thank are your family members. Many of your family members sitting here today, parents, grandparents, extended family, made a lot of sacrifices in their lives to get you to this point in yours. They allowed you the Bishop Kearney education, and they allowed you the opportunity to create some wonderful friendships during your time here at Bishop Kearney. Cherish these moments together and stay in touch with your classmates beyond today. Allow yourselves the opportunity to be there for each other and help each other through the tough times, as well as celebrate each other's accomplishments. Just like Ziwan said, in 80 more years, you can get back together and talk about this. Everyone in this room believes in you and your abilities. Your future is so very bright, and I know whatever it is that each of you chooses to do in the future, you will absolutely be successful. So in closing, in the tradition of the Irish Christian Brothers and the School Sisters of Notre Dame, I bestow upon you an Irish blessing. May your troubles be less, and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. Congratulations, and thank you to the class of 2018.
All right, thank you, Mr. Saluzzo. The next person I'd like to introduce is also hit the ground running. He's finishing his third year as our academic building leader. Just to show his dedication, his wife is currently getting ready to have their third child. So at any moment, he could be called away. So if you do see him run away, it's only because he is bringing another life into this world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our principal, Mr. Jason Simone.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good morning, graduates, faculty members, and guests. I am honored to be speaking in front of you today and feel privileged to be the principal of a school that has such an extensive legacy of excellence. The students who we are honoring this morning have dedicated themselves to fulfilling the mission of Bishop Kearney. And I must start by thanking the parents and their families for supporting your sons and daughters throughout the years. Without your support, none of this would exist. I also need to acknowledge a few individuals and groups of people who made this event successful. First, I would like to thank the Most Reverend Bishop Matano for his support of Catholic schools, and Dr. Anthony Cook, Superintendent of Catholic Schools, for delivering the bishop's message. Thank you. I also need to acknowledge the Bishop Kearney Parent-Teacher Association and the Sports Booster Club for their sponsorship of the many activities, clubs, and sports that have allowed our students to grow spiritually, socially, and academically. And finally, I'd like to thank our teachers who are sitting in front of us today for their dedication to our students. Our teachers have gone above and beyond for our students. They've spent countless hours of their own time designing lessons, correcting papers, and coming in on the weekends to hold review sessions. Teachers, thank you for all that you've done to ensure the success of our students. Now, on to our senior class. This group of Bishop Kearney seniors is truly a special class, and it has been an honor watching you grow together during the last 3 years. As a class, you have seen many changes take place at Bishop Kearney, including new teachers and administrators, a modernized curriculum, new teaching practices, and other improvements throughout our school. Although there have been many changes around the building, this Bishop Kearney graduating class shares many similarities to each of the classes that have graduated, going all the way back to the pioneer class of 1966. Since our inaugural class walked across the stage in 1966, Bishop Kearney graduates have gone on to become leaders in our community and have devoted themselves to their families, friends, and to God. All Bishop Kearney graduates have learned that the successes that they achieve in the classroom, stage, and athletic fields have come as a result of hard work, practice, and dedication. Nothing in life that is worthwhile ever comes easy, and our graduates are not afraid to roll up their sleeves and work. Our choices show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Bishop Kearney graduates know that failure is a part of life, but during their time in our hallways, you have each learned that the reason that we fall is so that we learn how to pick ourselves up. Resiliency is a trait that will be with you for the rest of your lives. Bishop Kearney graduates strive for perfection in all that they do. They have also learned during their time here that perfection cannot be the enemy of good. Our graduates can see the bigger picture on projects and tasks and know that they cannot get stuck in the minutia. Bishop Kearney graduates have thrived in a diverse learning environment and know that difference of habit, culture, and language are nothing at all as long as our aims are identical and our hearts are open to new ideas. And finally, Bishop Kearney graduates know the importance of humor and the therapeutic nature of laughter. Our graduates know how to balance the work that needs to be completed and the fun events that make life enjoyable. As the newest graduating class, you join a rich network of alumni who share similar traits, regardless of whether they graduated in 1966 or 2006. I am proud of our class of 2018 and know that they will continue to build on the legacy of the last 53 years. I know the lessons that were learned in the classroom, hallways, athletic field, or stage will help you become a successful adult. Remember, tradition never graduates. Although you will no longer be walking the halls of Bishop Kearney, we are a better place because of the time that you spent within our walls. Congratulations, Bishop Kearney class of 2018. You will forever be kings. Be proud and know that with God, hard work, and perseverance, all things are possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Simone. And now the next speaker that we have is our valedictorian of the class of 2018. He is son of Michael and Barbara Catalani of Greece, and his name is Mr. Spencer Catalani.